KITN TV sports presentation, Minnesota North Star Hockey. Telecast exclusively on Minnesota's #1 sports station, Channel 29. Tonight, the Minnesota North Stars battle the St. Louis Blues. Sponsored by Coors, the beer with a difference worth tasting. Coors is the one. Coors Light, the silver bullet. There's no slowing down with a silver bullet. Mitsubishi Motors. Experience the sensation of the full line of new cars and trucks from Mitsubishi. Mitsubishi, perfecting the experience. Musicland, we've got what's hot. Automax, the high-quality, low-cost alternative for brake and exhaust repair. Twin Cities area Pizza Hut restaurants, home of Pan Pizza. And by Champion Auto Stores. For the right products, right prices, right answers. Shop at Champion Auto Stores.
There is a bit of a new look at the St. Louis Arena, particularly in the front office, where the Blues have done some reorganizing and there is a new owner. But one thing for sure, the rivalry with the North Stars is as intense as ever. Hello again, everybody. Along with Wally Shaver, this is Frank Mazzacco, and welcome to North Stars Hockey on KITN TV, Channel 29. The Blues were recently sold in the offseason. Harry Ornest is no longer the owner. Michael Shanahan leads a group of new owners of the Blues, and they have a new coach in Jacques Martin. But as we saw last night at the Met Center, they play that same grinding, very tough checking style of hockey, and they beat the North Stars 4-3 after the North Stars won here earlier 8-3. Wally.
Experienced staff here tonight working the game. In the goal tonight for the Blues will be Rick Wamsley. Comes in with a 2.75 goals against average, stopping 91.1% of his shots. That's outstanding. This is his 5th start in the last 6 games, and he has an 8-3 lifetime record versus the North Stars. For Minnesota tonight, seeing his first action in 7 games is Don Beaupre. His average a little more inflated at 5.20. He has an 83.4% saves percentage. And Donnie has been looking forward to this game tonight. And I certainly hope he has a good game.
Oh, I certainly do, too. He has been, out partially because of illness, out partially because he was just a bit in the doghouse. And 5 games he sat without dressing. He dressed last night as the backup. And tonight he is back in action after 6 games not playing. The North Stars will get an early look at De Palma and Houck. They are on the left and right wings respectively, with Dennis Marouk at center. And we open the game with Chris Pryor and Gordy Roberts back on defense. Here's Marouk shooting it into the corner. It got away from Gilmore. Now Gilmore played it ahead in the far boards, where it's flipped to center ice by Jocelyn Lemieux, number 16. He's a rookie left winger. Now Gilmore mishandles the puck at the line, and Marouk has it, but then he was checked, and Hunter flips it into the zone. Now Roberts back behind the net. We're just underway in the first period. No score. The North Stars in St. Louis. Roberts. Now to Chris Pryor at center, and he'll throw it in. Took a hop off the dasher and scaled the glass and went out of play.
One thing I think we can expect to see tonight is a lot of line combinations. And this one right here, Larry De Palma, will be amongst those being jostled around in different situations tonight. I asked Coach Henning before the game tonight what he planned on doing for lines. He said he really wasn't so sure. He had to wait and see how things went. Larry De Palma, up from Springfield of the American Hockey League. It's a good look at Coach Henning.
De Palma played 9 games in Springfield this year. He has 82 minutes in penalties. Just the facts. This line has Brian Lawton on the left with Habscheid at center and Graham on the right. May have been the North Stars' most effective line last night. They were full of spark. Gronstrand and Hartsburg are teamed up back on defense. Now Pizlowski waiting for the puck. He tries to flip it ahead to Fedorko. It's deflected. Habscheid uses his skates to gain control. Now Mark Habscheid avoids Flockhart's check at center, then flips it into the corner. Lawton goes in after it, ties up there with Pizlowski. Graham throws a check, then he was hit by Benning, and then the loose puck comes back to center. Here's Graham and Fedorko. Now it rolls free to Hartsburg, and he takes it behind Don Beaupre. Neither team with a shot in the early going. Graham shooting it in. He and big Charlie Bourgeois go after it. It's loose to Lawton. Rifles it in front, but it was deflected and cleared by Pizlowski around to Flockhart. Now Ron Flockhart flipping it ahead for Fedorko. It was behind him, but onside, and Beaupre has to come out to make a stick play. Habscheid backhands it all the way down the ice, and Jim Beese is there as the North Stars make a full change on the fly. They have Bukestad, Nilsson, and Cicerelli up front as Beaupre blocks a long shot from the blue line by Flockhart. Now Musil playing it around. Bukestad scrambling for it. It's sent back in by Mahar. A quick centering pass by Hughes deflects behind the net. And now it's controlled again by Bukestad, who gets it to Cicerelli at center ice. Dino waits for someone to pass it to, backhands it in. Wamsley will clear it to the boards. Natras flips it to center ice. Here's Wilson playing it back to Cicerelli. He's covered by Mahar, and they jam up on the boards pretty hard. The puck's still free. Now it's controlled by Kent Nilsson. Ron Wilson over to Franta Musil, who flips it to center ice. And it's Mahar who Hughes intercepts. Now it's taken away by Nilsson. Finds Cicerelli, who breaks in, but again everybody's behind him, and the pass comes back out at center ice. Winger's having trouble, or his line mates are having trouble catching up with Cicerelli here. They freeze the puck, and we'll have a stoppage and a face-off coming up at center ice. Live from the St. Louis Arena, it's North Stars Hockey on KITN TV, Channel 29.
They need a lot of protection because those guys are continually getting bumped up along the boards, and when you don't have any equipment on, those hurt.
I'm a little surprised more of them haven't gone to the helmet. And there's a look at Jacques Martin, the new coach of the Blues.
33 years old. He's the youngest coach in the history of the St. Louis Blues.
At center ice, it's flipped into the zone by Tim Bothwell. A born-again Blue, if you will. He was once with the Blues and now is back. Here's Marouk to Bob Brook at center ice. Marouk carries it in, shoots a rising shot. Wamsley has trouble with it. And Bob Brook was reaching for the rebound, but it bounced away from him. Dennis Marouk behind the net. Covered there. Now Cavallini has it. He's flattened by Plett. There's going to be a penalty. Right off the bat, Dave Newell's going to come up with a penalty here against the North Stars. And the Blues will go to a power play. And it's against Willie Plett here, and the fans just love it.
Boarding the signal from referee Newell. So at 3:25, the first power play of the hockey game will go to the Blues. The power play has been average for St. Louis so far this year. They're 14 of 70, 20% conversion. They rank 12th overall in the league. And here's the action in the corner. Gino Cavallini smashed behind by Willie Plett.
Never hit the boards. How can you have boarding if you don't hit them? Well, that's being too picky, isn't it?
Roughing or boarding. I think that's a reasonable call to make. It's not on the rule books, hitting from behind like a lot of us see with our kids playing amateur hockey or high school hockey or college hockey where that rule is called. But it's a good one to have in there.
The first power play of the night, and it goes to St. Louis, a scoreless hockey game. We're early in period one. Here's Fedorko flipping it into the corner. Bob Brook is there, and he's jammed up on the boards by Hunter. Roberts knocked it free for a moment. Brook and Bukestad are the forwards, with Roberts and Pryor back on defense. Gilmore chasing Roberts right behind the net. There's a pass intercepted by Hunter. He's knocked down by Bukestad. Loose puck to Roberts, and he backhands it out.
Interesting to note that two of the North Stars penalty killers are out of the game tonight. Keith Acton went back to the hotel after getting to the rink here with the flu, and Brian Bellows is out after suffering a wrist injury in last night's game.
Hunter carries it in, but Fedorko was a half step ahead of the playoff side. Well, tomorrow night on Channel 29's 8 o'clock movie, Jeff Bridges stars in Walt Disney's classic science fiction thriller Tron. With special animated effects you'll want to see. Tron tomorrow night at 8 on Channel 29.
I'm going to watch that. That's a great movie. I've seen it before. Worth seeing again.
Natras at center ice, throwing it back across the rink for Benning. Brian Benning, whose older brother Jim plays for the Maple Leafs. A minute to go on the penalty to Willie Plett. It deflects in on Beaupre, and he leaves it for Gordy Roberts. Now it's played ahead to Houck, but checked away by Hunter. Fedorko shooting it back behind the net. Roberts goes after the loose puck, finds an opening and shoots it to center ice. Benning first man to it, and the North Stars will change penalty killers. Bukestad coming back on with Brook. Musil and Gronstrand are back on the defense. Kozlowski has trouble at center ice and played it back.
There was too many North Stars on there. Newell's got it. There's going to be another penalty to Minnesota.
Natras drops it in, and it's picked up by Pryor there, so the Blues will have 30 seconds just about of two-man advantage.
I thought the penalty ended. I looked down there, saw 5 green jerseys, and looked up at the clock, and nope, not yet. So the North Stars will play shorthanded for 2 minutes, or excuse me, for 29 seconds by 2 men. And this penalty comes now at 4:56. And I'm not sure if it was too many defensemen that stepped on the ice or too many forwards. The first part of the penalty was killed by that combination of Brook and Bjugstad. The second part by Hauk and Graham. Hauk and Graham came off. Brook and Bjugstad went on. The defense was changing at the same time. But obviously 5 is too many when you're already a man short.
Brian Lawton serving this minor penalty, and the Blues will mount their attack with Fedorko on the ice. Flockhart is there as well, and Mark Hunter, who leads the club with 3 power play goals. Brian Sutter, who is injured, also has 3 power play goals. The Blues have a host of injuries as well, keeping a lot of players out. We'll update you on that as the game progresses. Here's Bourgeois. Now it got away from Kozlowski. Lucille behind the net with Flockhart. Wickenheiser tries to center it, but he was just shoved right up against the boards by Gronstrand. Back at the blue line, Bothwell. Now into the corner. Kozlowski has it. It's centered for Bourgeois. Glove save by Beaupre. Flockhart to Bourgeois again. Lets it go. A pad save this time. And the penalty to Plett is over. Here's Bourgeois to Flockhart, walking right in on goal. A power play goal by Flockhart has given the Blues a 1-0 lead.
Penalty had just expired to Plett. He was trying to get back into the action. Bourgeois makes a nice pass to Flockhart and cuts right in on goal, stuffing it past Beaupre. Lucille was up ice a little bit, but he had to be up a little high in the slot, expecting that pass, and the shot from Bourgeois consequently left Flockhart open. So he needed to know that Plett was back on the ice. The North Stars, for all practical purposes, were still defending a 5-on-3. Now, since Plett's penalty expired, the power play goal means Lawton is back out of the box, so the North Stars are now back at equal strength.
Here's Hartsburg over to Gronstrand, now ahead to Habscheid, and it's thrown in the zone by Dirk Graham. They jam it up off the boards, back all the way down, and Gronstrand will go back for it. Jari Gronstrand, the North Stars rookie defenseman from Finland, playing it ahead to Habscheid. Now Graham is checked by Natras, but it creates a 2-on-1. Lawton's onside. Puck is rolling on him, and then Walmsley easily tips it away. Lawton centers it. Here's Gronstrand trying to get away from the check of Cavallini. Rifles it right through the slot. A nice pass. Here's Hartsburg shooting. It's tipped wide by Graham. And Pavis is the first man of the puck, and he lobs it to center ice. Hartsburg being challenged on the play by Raglan. And now at center, here's Pavis playing it right back, and then it's shot in by Cavallini. 6.5 minutes gone in the first period, and the Blues lead 1-0. Jari Gronstrand in the corner. Pass broken up by Mark Reeds. Gronstrand flipping it back around. Hartsburg has to give chase. It rolls loose to Bourgeois, and he misfired on the pass to Reeds. Now Graham has it. Sends it to Nilsson at center ice with Hartsburg trailing, but it'll be tough to get the pass to him. And as he's ridden into the boards, the North Stars make a change on the fly. Here's Rick Mahar, 33-year-old center iceman, shooting it in. Too far for Reeds. And it rolled away from Musil at the last second, but then rolled right to Cicerelli, who gets it to Bjugstad. Back to Cicerelli. Now at center ice, Reed's pass is broken up by Bjugstad. Mahar goes in after it, plays it behind the net. Bourgeois is there, chased out of there by Kent Nielsen. And at center ice, Ron Wilson intercepts for Minnesota. Cicerelli trapped in the zone. And the whistle goes. Apparently a penalty or more will be coming out of this.
Cicerelli and Bourgeois. Dino lands a right across the back of the head of Bourgeois. Bourgeois took him up along the boards and wouldn't let go. Dino kept scrapping away, trying to get loose. And there should be an extra minor out of all this to Bourgeois for holding. We'll wait and see how Newell decides to dish it out. But then again, it might be offset by the punch that Dino threw.
Big mismatch in size there. Bourgeois at 6'4", Cicerelli at 5'10". Not to mention that he's 45 pounds lighter. While they sort it out, we'll take a break with the score. St. Louis 1, Minnesota nothing. We'll be back in a moment.
This is what caused the penalties as Bourgeois and Cicerelli each pick up a pair of minors, 2 for high sticking and 2 for roughing. So both those players are gone for 4 minutes. The team still skating at 5 men aside.
A pass by Roberts goes all the way down the ice. Marouk got there first, so there's no icing. De Palma will try to stuff it, and he does! A goal by Larry De Palma, and this game is tied at 1, and the Blues are really going to protest the lack of an icing call.
They're all over the case of Dan McCourt now, back in the St. Louis zone. That's Bob Plager you see up on the bench right now, wondering where that icing call was. But Larry De Palma gets credit for the goal on sure hustle. Watch as he comes in. Helps in digging that puck loose. Lost control, but then gets it back again as it bounced off Natras and just stuffed it in on the strong side of Rick Wamsley. This goal comes at 7:41, and De Palma's first National Hockey League goal ties up the hockey game as you see it glance off the skate of Wamsley.
If we get a chance to look at it again, we'll find out if Marouk got to the puck first on that original race down the ice or not. It was close, and there was a bit of a scramble there.
Marouk did get credit for the assist. And Plett on De Palma's first NHL goal.
Now here's Wamsley sweeping it into the corner. And it's controlled by Bothwell, who throws it to Pozlowski at center ice, fakes the shot. Now he lets it go, and it's blocked by Beaupre. De Palma plays the rebound right up out of the rink. 12 minutes left to go in period 1, and you're watching the National Hockey League on the North Star Television Network.
Catching up on the St. Louis goal, it was Ron Flockhart's 7th of the year. Charlie Bourgeois and Tim Bothwell assisting on that power play tally. And just 2 minutes later, Larry De Palma has evened the game up for Minnesota.
5 skaters aside right now as Marouk flips it back to Chris Pryor. And Pryor throws it up off the boards, and it hit Leon Stickle, the linesman. Now Bothwell goes after it. Larry De Palma right in after him. There's a pass that was nearly picked off, but Flockhart has it. Boy, De Palma must have really crushed Bothwell back there. Flockhart got around Roberts, then went down. Fans, it looked maybe like there was going to be a penalty call there, but Plett brings it in. Plett trying to get around Benning. Wamsley helps out by batting the puck aside. Marouk battles for it, and it comes to center ice where Natras gets it ahead. Fedorko breaks through. Nice move, and he was checked and hauled down. There'll be a penalty coming up here. What a move by Bernie Fedorko.
Bernie Fedorko had a great game last night in net center, picking up a goal and 2 assists for the Blues. He's been struggling so far this year, down in the ranks a little bit in St. Louis scoring, but he broke loose last night, and he broke right around Gronstrand, totally clean. And you see both Bjugstad and Hartsburg get a piece of him. Bjugstad comes up with a minor penalty, so Minnesota is shorthanded now for the 3rd time in this hockey game. Penalty being called at 8 minutes and 47 seconds.
What a standout Fedorko has been. Somebody asked me who was the last player to lead the Blues in scoring for a season besides Fedorko. He's done it, what, 7 straight years?
7 straight now.
That's a tough question.
Unger?
Good answer, Wally.
Is it?
Right on.
Hey, thanks, buddy.
Shot goes wide. Fedorko raps at it. Gilmore whips it back to the point. Natras has it. He slides it across. It got away from Benning. Now Gronstrand intercepts. Tied up by Hunter for a moment, then gets it to center ice for Dirk Graham a bit too far. Brook and Graham are up front with Gronstrand and Musil back on defense, killing this penalty. Another minute 30 to go on the minor to Bjugstad. Coming up on the halfway point of the period. And the score tied 1-1. Benning flipping it ahead to Gilmore. Not a Hunter at center ice. Hits the line with Fedorko. And they call it offside on a close play.
Hunter started stick handling a little to his left, slowing play up momentarily. It forced his wingers offside. When you get that close to the blue line, you have to get in. But an added problem in a situation like that is the defense standing up, just as the North Stars' Gordie Roberts was doing in that situation, holding that blue line, proving it to be North Stars' ground, and it creates a team to make some mistakes. In a case like that, quite often you just have to dump it in.
Ron Wilson, the defenseman, going to handle this face-off against Doug Gilmore. Roberts, the other defenseman. I guess they're going to use Wilson up front, so it'll be Houck and Wilson up front. Gilmore breaks in, dropped to Fedorko, a save, hit the goalpost. Now Benning, Natras, slap shot, right on, and Beaupre makes the save. Lady luck on the side of Beaupre on that first shot.
Pryor immediately over to tie up Mark Hunter. Good play for Beaupre to hang on to it because there were 3 North Stars up towards the 2 defensemen of the Blues. As you can see here, Donnie had 2 Blues cruising in on top, and he had to squeeze the pads and hang on. Pryor had his hands full, leaving 1 Blues defender and going after a Hunter.
The original shot couldn't have kissed that goalpost any more cleanly than it did. Right dead on. 1:03 left in the penalty to Bjugstad.
Similar play to that last night led to a St. Louis goal as it hit the post behind Taco, stayed in the crease, and Fedorko poked it home. Got him out of a slump. Darn it.
Now Flockhart goes back for the loose puck, and Bob Brook chases him. Brook, a former U.S. Olympian. Nice move by Flockhart there. Now at center ice, Wickenheiser got it in. Pozlowski has it. He'll shoot it around, and it hopped over the glass and goes out of play.
Still 39 seconds left in the penalty to the North Stars. Rick Natras in his 4th full season, 2nd in St. Louis. Had 4 goals and 20 assists for 24 points last year, all highs for him in his career.
He seems to be picking up where he left off. He's having a good start to this season as well.
Yes, he has. He's already got 8 points, so he's well on his way to eclipsing what he did last year.
Here's Bothwell across to Pavis. Shot way wide. Flockhart pokes at it. Half minute on the St. Louis power play in a 1-1 hockey game. Brooks shoots it all the way down. Our Stars will make a quick change. Gronstrand, Musil come out along with Houck and Ron Wilson. Loose at the line to Flockhart, who drops it back. Now Pavis plays it ahead on a 2-line pass, and will face it off in the St. Louis end.
St. Louis just can't seem to get this power play going. Looking a little sloppy out there. North Stars are just trying to slow the pace down. And I've been impressed with the hitting game that we've seen out of Minnesota so far tonight. Larry DePalma, in particular, has looked outstanding, and he's crunching everything that moves out there. I'll tell you, Dennis Marook's got to feel pretty happy when he's got Platt on one wing and DePalma on the other. And Pee Wee likes to throw his share of checks as well. A little problem now as we get Houck and Reeds set.
During the course of the night, Wally, I'm sure you and I will develop this idea about big players and physical play a bit more, and we'll devote some time to it at our first intermission. It doesn't have to be dirty play. It's just physical to open up the ice a little more. Here's a quick shot and a goal by Mahar. And on the power play, the Blues lead 2-1.
Mahar just racing down the wing, picking up the puck as it came off the boards, and blasting it past Don Beaupre. One thing the North Stars are going to have to improve upon is their penalty killing. At best, it's atrocious. And there's on clearing shot. Everybody knew what was going to happen. And Donnie, I think, was just plain beat clean. You see Donnie way out trying to cut the angle down. But a very accurate shot by Mahar as he went high into the far corner to put the Blues ahead.
Now here's Wilson whacking it in. I think there were only about 3 seconds left on the penalty to Bjugstad when he scored. Habscheid dropping it back. Hartsburg trying to play it back out. Now it's grabbed by Habscheid. It rolled away from him, and they call it offside as Graham carries it in over the line. We're in the first period, and it's St. Louis 2 and the North Stars 1.
Rick Mahar scores his second goal of the year, with the assist going to Tim Bothwell, his second of the night, and Gino Cavallini at 10:44, a power play for the Blues.
Ron Wilson in his own end, over to Craig Hartsburg, who tips it to center. Led ahead for Graham, then it's whacked loose at the line. Gilmore shooting it in. Beaupre lead for Wilson, who drives it around. It's grabbed by Dirk Graham. Graham has Lawton breaking in on the wing. He was checked. Graham centers it for Habscheid, who tipped it wide. And the loose puck to Hunter. Hunter flipping it to center ice. It hopped right past Wilson. Rolls in on Beaupre. Wilson webs it over to the boards, and then he was checked pretty hard. Checked hard on the play by Lemieux. Now Lemieux was knocked down from behind away from the puck by Graham. No penalty there. And Wilson has it at the side of the net. To Dirk Graham, overskates it. Things look a little sluggish out there. Might have bad ice. Lemieux really jammed Graham, and Graham retaliated, but no call as the referee Newell was looking the other way. Now Hunter at center. Pass broken up by Lawton. Ron Wilson and Gilmore tangle up, and Graham has the loose puck. Here's Dirk Graham. He had a 2-goal game last night against the Blues. Rifles it into the zone. North Stars make a change on the fly with 7.5 left to go in the first period. St. Louis leading 2-1, and we're going to have an icing call coming up here.
You know, this is the same officiating staff that we had last night at Met Center, Frank, and I was not really impressed with the job that Newell did in calling that game. And unless he clamps down a little bit here, he's going to have some problems tonight that are going to lead to quite a bit of rough action. And right now, we do have Willie Platt and Charlie Bourgeois exchanging a few words. Bourgeois had just come out of the penalty box along with Dino Cicerelli. They were each off for 4 minutes. And I'm sure Willie went over and told Charlie, hey, pick on somebody your own size, dude.
They had one of the more memorable moments last night in front of one of the goals. I think in front of the North Star goal, when Platt had Bourgeois just all wrapped up. He was just right on top of him, wrapped up like a Christmas package, and wasn't going to let him go. And finally, they think they each got minors for roughing or something. Now Flockhart stops, flips it in on goal, and Beaupre plays it aside to Pryor. They're clamping down on that a little more this year. If you get a chance to play it, they want you to play it, but we got a tripping penalty here as Maruk was upended. All right, we'll be back with a power play in a moment. North Stars hockey comes to you from St. Louis on KITN TV.
Here's a penalty. You see Dennis Maruk in the middle of your screen trying to break around Bourgeois and dumped. Bourgeois for tripping at 12:45. The North Stars get their first power play chance of the game. They have the best in the National Hockey League.
Bjugstad, Nilsson, and Cicerelli up front. Hartsburg and Ron Wilson back on defense. Bjugstad had a broken stick, retrieved one from the bench, tips the puck in the zone, then it's banged out. Now Ron Wilson. Over to Cicerelli. North Stars with a manpower advantage, hoping to tie the score at 2. Mahar flips it behind the net. Natras has it, fans on it, and then a second effort by the Blues gets it out. 1:15 to go on the minor penalty to Bourgeois. Here's Hartsburg. Fires it in from the red center line, and Reeds was there to knock it down and shoot it out.
Blues like to stack up their 4 penalty killers right at the blue line. That's causing Minnesota to try and dump it in.
Lawton, Graham, Habscheid up front for Minnesota now. Wilson and Hartsburg remain on defense, at least for the time being. Here's Mark Habscheid throwing it into the corner. Wickenheiser checked by Lawton. And the Blues opt for a face-off here. Will they get it? No. Back to the point. Hartsburg keeps it in. Now flips it to Brian Lawton. 35 seconds on the power play. Here's Habscheid. Lawton. Pass hit Reeds. Hartsburg back into the corner for Habscheid. And he is chased and challenged on the play by Posevad, just called up from the minor leagues. Now Lawton trapped behind the net. And the loose puck to Mark Reeds. He clears and gets it out. 12 seconds left on the penalty. Here's Dirk Graham. Bumped by Benning. Lawton has the loose puck. Back to the point for Wilson. Now to Dirk Graham again. It got away from him. Lawton has it. Penalty about to expire. They center for Graham. Glove save by Walmsley as the penalty expires.
Rick Walmsley in his 6th season in the National Hockey League, 3rd with the St. Louis Blues, coming up with an important save. And by hanging on, he allows his team to change. A good close-in shot by Dirk Graham. Almost looked like a high five there. He's had 2 straight 20-win seasons.
This is a very workable goaltending duel that they have here, Walmsley and Millen.
Jacques Martin was telling us last night, Frank, that he was very happy with his goaltending. It's solid and one of the most stable in the NHL.
Walmsley stacks the pads there and then pinches the puck between them and holds on for a whistle. 5:05 left to go in the first period. And a 2-1 lead for St. Louis. Well, you've heard Wally and I talk quite a bit about one for the books. Addressed momentarily. 5 minutes left in the first period. Musil shooting it right back in. Natras playing it back around. It got away from Hunter. They jam up for it. It rolls back to center ice. Baruch leaves it for Musil, and then it gets away from Natras again. The North Star's going to pour in after the puck, but Walmsley played it away to Natras. He's having trouble with it. I don't know if the ice is bad or what, but they're just having, both teams are having trouble controlling the puck. Here's Musil playing it right back in. Cicerelli behind the net, looking for his 21st goal. A score by De Palma, who gets his 2nd and ties the game at 2.
Larry De Palma turning into a scoring threat here in St. Louis tonight. He broke across the ice from the left side to the right, seeing that Dino had faked going around the net to that right-hand side. Dino instead came back to the left. It drew St. Louis off balance. You see Pavis giving chase. It left it open in front. De Palma took advantage of that opening, and his shot went up high, beating goaltender Walmsley and tying the game back at 2.
Cicerelli looking more like Neil Broughton on that play, in that he set it up instead of scoring it. So it's a 2-2 game. Now played ahead. Benning knocks it down, throws it blindly to center, and Roberts will shoot it right back in. Now Flockhart trying to get it to center ice, picked up by Kozlowski. Bearing down on Roberts, and Gordy takes him out of the play. Fedorko centers it. Bourgeois is tied up well by Houck, and the loose puck to Pryor. He has trouble with it. Kozlowski shoots it, sailed wide by just a couple of inches. Now it hit Newell, the referee, and Pryor has the loose puck, and he clears the zone. Icing waved off here. 3:40 left in period 1. Bourgeois out to Kozlowski, picked off by Graham. Nice play off the boards to Lawton. Lawton shoots, pad save, rebound by Habshot, high and wide, and it rolls in front where Bourgeois clears it. Now Newell goes down. That's about the 3rd time he's gone down in this period, the referee, but he's back up all right. Now Dirk Graham at center, throwing it into the corner. Played away by Walmsley, and back behind the net where Bothwell wraps up Graham, and it's shot all the way down by Wickenheiser. Icing coming up here against the St. Louis Blues. With 3:03 left in the first period, the score is Minnesota 2 and St. Louis 2. All right, now we'll finish telling you how you can get your copy of One for the Books, the half-hour highlight video. Send $19.95 plus $1.50 for handling to One for the Books, Met Center, Bloomington 55420.
That'll get there. Good video,
Gotta put
too.
a stamp on it first.
Yes, then it'll get there.
Back to the point. Wilson has an opening. Tried to center, but it was broken up. Lawton shoots wide. It was deflected wide. Bothwell now to Raglan, who gets it to Wickenheiser, and he shoots it in. Cavallini out of the corner, and he gets a bit of a butterfly shot there. Beaupre left it. Raglan and Cavallini in checking on the play, and Lawton finally gets it to Graham at center ice. Back to Brian Lawton. He stops. Wilson has it. Throws it over to Habscheid, but it glances behind the net. Batted away by Bothwell. Now Lawton centers it. Graham was tied up as he tried to tip it in, and here's Doug Wickenheiser. Fully recovered from that serious knee injury of 2 years ago. Bothwell shooting it in, blocked by Beaupre. And it's grabbed by Wilson as the Blues have made a line change. So have the North Stars. Bukestad at center ice. Bears down on Natras. There's virtually nowhere to go with the puck. Played it behind the net for Nielsen in front of the net. And it rolls through 3 players before Gronstrand shoots wide. Now Bukestad. Checked by Pavis. Mahar. And finally it's played around with a glove hand by Pavis. The North Stars gain control. Here is Nielsen behind the net now to the boards. Tied up by Pavis. 1:40 to go in the first period. Cicerelli to the line. It's kept in by Gronstrand. Slap shot wide. And it caroms back to center ice. Musil to Gronstrand. He flips it in. The North Stars make a change.
It was interesting to see that line out there together. Bukestad and Cicerelli, whom have played together for a couple of seasons as wingers, and Nielsen centering it.
Now Franta Musil from behind the net. Well, as you mentioned at the top of the show, we're seeing many combinations for the North Stars. Marouk driving it in off the glass. Gilmore. And then the Blues shoot it all the way down. Roberts turns to go after it. Under 60 seconds left in the period. Roberts' pass is deflected at center ice, and De Palma came up high with the stick on Bourgeois. And now Pryor just dives right in and blasts Bourgeois.
And in the Minnesota bench, Willie Plett is going after one of the Blues players.
Now Roberts trying to restrain Hunter, I believe. Well,
I'll tell you, throwing some. Now Bourgeois reaching over the back, trying to get at De Palma. Now here's an unfair situation. The officials, we've seen it do it time and again. One North Starsman got it off to the penalty box, and Minnesota right now is outmanned on the ice. It just isn't fair. That's when the real brouhaha started.
Well, I have a feeling something pretty nasty happened away from my line of sight, because everybody reacted rather too vigorously here for just a routine check.
Well, the guy with the short hair is Lemieux. He's having a few words with Plett. Lemieux took a little run earlier in the period, and the North Stars are seeing, I'm seeing something tonight, Frank, I haven't seen all year out of these guys. They're sticking up for one another. That's great to see.
It had to happen. If the club was going to go anywhere, it had to happen. They had to start caring for one another, and it shows up in situations like this.
De Palma's got his shirt off.
Well, that was the first high stick that I saw. De Palma hitting Bourgeois, and then Pryor came right in after Bourgeois. And so if there was anything that happened before De Palma's high stick, I don't know. You see, he and Lemieux still are not very friendly. And now he is escorted off the ice.
Now, Newell gave him a lead hole. I don't know if that's a game misconduct signal or what. There was a little shove there that we did see from De Palma, but that was more or less premeditated because Lemieux was yapping it away at any North Star on the bench who was going to listen.
Bourgeois is being sent off by referee Newell as well. All of this coming with 53 seconds left in the period. So we'll have to wait for the announcement. Chris Pryor going off as well for the North Stars. There's a look at Chris. So by my count, 2 for Minnesota and 1 for St. Louis.
Claude Lemieux is his big brother. And here's what eventually started the whole thing.
Willie Plett is also being escorted off. That draws a roar from the fans.
You saw the collision there between De Palma and Bourgeois.
And soon I think you'll see Chris Pryor coming in here. Bang.
He wasn't going to waste any time. He got Bourgeois with a good shot there. And now Jocelyn Lemieux is going off the ice.
When they announce the penalties, we'll let you listen in as well. Carlson as well. So all of that will be coming up in our intermission, which is 53 seconds of playing time away.
And interestingly enough, we'll be talking to Lauren about team spirit, leadership, and physical play.
False face-off or perhaps an offside. We're going to do it again. He stayed pretty, Lauren Henning there has stayed quite cool through what has been a pretty rocky road here in the early going of the season. He has made some awfully tough decisions, particularly the Giles trade that you mentioned earlier, which brought Bob Brook here. Giles and McKegney for Brook, and an exchange of draft picks. That was not an easy decision to make, I have a feeling. Brook throwing it right out. Now a half minute to go in the period, and a minute and a half roughly on the St. Louis power play. Here's Brook dropping it back. 2-2 the score as Gronstrand shoots it in. Now Natras has it. Gilmore at center ice. Now Hunter got it in. Gilmore in the slot was bumped by Gronstrand. 10 seconds left. Whipped in front. Here is Natras having trouble. 5 seconds left as Brook brings it up ice with Graham. 3 seconds too. It's centered. A goal at the horn. And the linesman has pointed to the net as if the goal will stand.
The red light is on, and it comes right at 0-0-0-0 across the scoreboard clock. But that goal is good. The light came on, and Graham has scored to put the North Stars ahead without any time left. Watch Bob Brook come down ice. I'm sure Dirk might be saying, shoot, Bob, we're running out. But he passed it across. Dirk didn't even fire. He just tipped it. Caught the inside corner pass Walmsley. And you'll never see a goal scored at that time on the clock again.
It officially will go down as 19:59. And it gives the North Stars a 3-2 lead, their first lead of the game, going into the first intermission. And Dirk Graham gets it, and he has been on a bit of a tear of late. So we're at the end of 20 minutes of play. Goal line game is coming up, so stay tuned for that. At the end of one, the North Stars 3, the Blues 2.
That's amazing, eh?
Second period, we'll give you a rundown on the scores. You see the Bruins leading the Sabres 3-1. And other good news, at least for the North Stars, that New Jersey has a 2-0 lead over Detroit, and the Flyers are beating the Maple Leafs 1-0. Those are first period scores. Here it's 3-2 Minnesota. As Walmsley leaves it behind the net, Natras is there. Now to Gilmore. A couple of players from each team still in the penalty boxes, but we are 40 seconds away from the end of a St. Louis power play. They have a 5-on-4 advantage. Here's a backhand by Gilmore and a goal on a crazy play. His first pass or shot, whatever it was, hit the net, came right back to him, and on an easy backhander, he ties the game at 3, just 32 seconds into the period.
Doug Gilmore has been a North Stars killer over the years. Did very well in the playoffs last year. The shot hit the side of the goal. He gets his own rebound, cuts around Roberts. And I think in a situation like that, Gordy should have moved out and played the man instead of the puck. But it's a very heads-up play for Gilmore, something that he was intending to do, and got his own rebound, putting it past Beaupre. Bernie Federico and Rick Natras picking up the assist on that Gilmore goal just 32 seconds into the period. So Frank, what looked like a big advantage for the North Stars scoring late in the first period has been offset by this early goal by the Blues.
That goal by Graham, Wally, I'm sorry, I don't know if you mentioned it. I forgot to mention that it was a shorthanded goal. We have a hole in the plexiglass behind Don Beaupre, and the arena crew here will be tending to that. And while they do, we will take a break. With the
I don't get up there that much, but I'd love to, because it's a great part of the state. I'd like to pass on some hellos, too, to Mike, Steve, Terry, and Tracy, some KITN viewers who like to watch Gopher and North Star hockey. We had a chance to chat with them after the Gopher game last Friday night. Good to have you guys watching.
And we're underway with the remainder of the period. That goal was scored at 32 seconds to tie it at 3, and it was Gilmore's goal. Now Pavis, checked by Nielsen. Blocked by Bukestad. They rough it up a bit. And here's Cicerelli back to Musil. His shot goes off the glass. 5 skaters aside early in period 2 in a 3-3 game. Hartsburg tying up with Mahar. And Bugstead trying to pry the puck out of there, but it's frozen.
Our Stars will be minus Chris Pryor for the rest of the game, being called for third man in that skirmish that erupted in the final minute of the opening period. Scotty Bugstad hoping to change things around for himself. He has just 2 goals so far this year. And he's back reunited with Cicerelli as the right winger.
Here's Musil at center ice, backhanding it in as he was checked by Cavallini. Now Natras has it, chased out of there by Nielsen. Here's Musil again at center ice. He got it to Bugstead. The pass for Cicerelli fails to click. Cavallini clears it out. Now Mahar sidesteps a check. Cavallini shoots. Gloved on that hot drive. Beaupre holds on. I have a feeling after every whistle tonight, push will lead to shove.
Musil and Cavallini were the ones that got this going. Hartsburg now yapping away at Cavallini. And Gino Cavallini, who is pointless in his last 5 games, using the strategy of breaking to the net to try and help things out and get his own game back on track. Cavallini has only 5 points in 16 games so far this year for the Blues. Spent 2 years at Bowling Green University.
Federico getting ready for the face-off against Hapshide. Blues with a new coach, as we mentioned, but there's very little difference in the way they play the game. Same grinding style. Sometimes they almost grind it to a halt. Here's Roberts. But really, if you don't have the thoroughbreds, there's no sense trying to win a race.
Well, we'll get into that in a bit.
Here's a quick shot. Walmsley has trouble, and then it's batted away from Wilson, who rushed in. Now Federico, 2-on-1 to Kozlowski, to Federico, and it was broken up on a nice defensive play by Roberts. That was major league anticipation. Lawton knocks the puck loose, then it's cleared to Flockhart at center with Federico trailing. Here's Federico shooting. Beaupre makes that save and then gets the whistle just as he let go.
Well, you talk about not having the horses, but the Blues are showing it right now. What we found interesting in talking with Jacques Martin last night was the fact that he says you can't really change things that much. You more or less have to utilize the talent that you have on your team. And his team is a grinding type of squad. They have to make their own breaks and take off on the opportunities that they get, just like this one with Federico breaking down. Roberts commits himself there by going down and gets the shaft of his stick, blocking the return pass to Federico and breaking up that rush. Federico always dangerous to the puck, and he has a history of doing well against the North Stars.
From the face-off, here's Cicerelli, who has an assist in the first period tonight. Was still trying to get it out, does, but it just barely made it out. Brook flipping it in, then ran into Benning. Brook is right back up. Cavallini has the puck. Bob Brook chasing Cavallini. It's back to Hartsburg at center ice. Hartsburg finds De Palma, drops it into the slot, and it's intercepted by Benning and shot to center ice, where Ragland then throws it ahead. Cavallini checked by Hartsburg. Cicerelli picks up the loose puck. Dino's in trouble, then gets rid of the puck on a quick pass up to De Palma. Batted away by Natras at center. Wickenheiser finds Ragland, but the pass was just a little behind him. Then Ragland was roughed up by Musil. It creates an offside.
3-3 score. Gilmore here in the second period early has scored. Bring the Blues right back in the game as we take a look at František Musil, living with a family of Czechoslovakian descent in the community of Edina. And Gilmore in his 4th season played his junior hockey up at Cornwall.
You know, as well as the Blues, as much good play as they get out of Gilmore, who you're looking at there, they're pretty formidable at center ice with Wickenheiser, Federico, and Gilmore. It's not a bad lineup.
Gilmore is young. He's just coming into his own, and he's a guy that they're looking for to the future to provide the spark at center ice.
Gilmore backhands it to center ice. Ron Wilson Now across to Roberts, ahead to Nielsen, and he'll flip it in. Pavis in the corner. Willie Plutt going in after it, and it's shot around. Willie will be Wally's guest at our second intermission. Now Natras at center ice. 4-on-3, sort of a rush. Here's Hunter trying to play it in front, and it's caromed over to Marouk, who gets it to Nielsen. 2-on-1 with Plutt. Willie on the right wing. He centers it. It's off a skate, and then covered up by Walmsley.
Pass out of the skates. Kent Nielsen didn't really know where it was going, as it kind of came in behind the two players as they were breaking towards the net. But watch how the North Stars break out. That's just the way you want to do it. Come out as a unit. And it led to this 2-on-1 situation. The pass across the Plutt. Watch as he centers it back, hits some skates, and bangs in behind everybody. Nielsen was taken off the puck, and it allowed Walmsley room to get over and cover it up.
The way the checking game has developed in pro hockey, that wheeling style coming out of the zone is something that you see less and less of, but it's a thing of beauty when it's executed right. We played 3:45 of period 2. 3-3 the score. Bothwell has the puck from the draw. Brook chases him out from behind the net. Bothwell now to Fedorko. Bjugstad gets the loose puck. Scotty struggling of late with just 1 point in his last 10 games. Flockhart throwing it across. Kozlowski has it. Kozlowski didn't get all of it on his shot. Then he tangles up with Musil. Hartsburg quarterbacks this rush out of the zone. Hartsburg throwing it into the corner. Walmsley is there to steer it around on the boards. Kept in by Hartsburg. Now Bjugstad in the corner had trouble with it. Hauk checked by Bothwell, spun to the ice by Bothwell. Bjugstad turned aside by Posevad, centers. Hartsburg shoots, sails wide. A penalty will be coming up, and it'll be a penalty on the Blues, a holding call. So the North Stars will go to a power play, and it'll be their second power play. You're watching the National Hockey League on the North Stars.
Tim Bothwell, 2 for holding at 442. The Blues penalty killing unit coming into tonight with 6th best in the National Hockey League at 83.1%.
And as you mentioned, the North Star power play unit right at the top of the league. Right now they've got Cicerelli with Brook and Nilsson up front. Hartsburg and Ron Wilson back on the points. Wilson shooting it in. Cicerelli goes after it. Checked on the play. Mahar tips it to center ice. Shorthanded. Here he comes. Rick Mahar cuts to the middle and then lost it. And then it's played back into the St. Louis zone for Rick Natras, the former Montreal Canadian, over to Jim Pavis. And Pavis shoots it all the way down. 1:20 to go on the Blues penalty to Bothwell. Now Hartsburg again. Finds Cicerelli. 13 of his 20 goals have come on the power play. Reeds clearing it and off the skate of Wilson, but play is called back in the St. Louis zone. Penalty?
Looks like we have a couple of penalties to Benning and Cicerelli. They were the two chasing the puck down into the St. Louis zone. And the two of them will be going off, keeping things still with a 5-on-4 skating advantage in favor of the North Stars. Brian Benning, called up from the Canadian Olympic team. Played there last year, was hoping he could play there this year, but with all those injuries that hit the Blues defense, crippling them, and for extended periods, Blues are telling him, hey, you're here for the year. We need you.
Dino gets a roughing penalty. Benning slashing. 5:35 is the time. Leon Stickle doing a little mending job on Doug Gilmore's stick, and we're ready to go. 1:07 left on the North Star power play. Graham, Habscheid, Lawton up front. Hartsburg and Wilson back on the points. Here's Lawton carrying it in. Sends it to the side of the net for Habscheid. And it's centered all the way through everybody.
Dirk Graham was there, but he had his stick tied up in front of the net. Otherwise, he would have had a great point-blank range shot.
Now Craig Hartsburg at center. Checked at the line, still gets it to Habscheid, back to Hartsburg, checked again by Gilmore. Hartsburg hangs on to it. Now it's centered. Graham goes down diving for it. Now Wilson back to Habscheid. The pass is deflected to Lawton. And he'll set up again. 20 seconds on the power play. Hartsburg. Wilson. Lawton has it. Blues have him boxed out. North Stars are having a little tough time getting to the middle. Habscheid has it again. 8 seconds on the power play. Lawton. Graham. Centers for Habscheid. He failed to tip it in as the penalty to Bothwell expires. Hartsburg shoots wide. Wamsley may have gotten the stick on it, and it's out to center ice for Gilmore with Bothwell at the line, broken up by Wilson. Now Wilson ahead to Graham, back to Wilson. He's got Habscheid in the middle, but it's broken up by Natras, kept in at the point by Lawton, and that rising shot is deflected by Wamsley, out of play. We're in the second period. It's the North Stars 3 and the Blues 3. Right from the face-off, Musil shoots. It goes into the corner. Musil waiting for the puck. Finds De Palma. De Palma with 2 goals. Centers it. It's kicked in the net. Will it stand? No! It was kicked in, but I don't think it was deliberately kicked in.
Dennis Baruch was tied up in front, was spinning around. The puck glanced off his skate and beat Wamsley. Newell waved it off right away. I will say this. Newell was right there and right on top of the play, not 10 feet away from where Ruck was standing. So he had a very clear, visible view. But was Dennis tied up, or did he try to kick it in? Let's watch it together and find out. De Palma centers it. There's Dennis at the side of the net as the puck comes into traffic. And a little difficult to really tell there as it was down in their skates, but they're... I don't doubt in my mind that Bothwell really had Maruk tied up and spinning him around.
Now, was he in the crease too soon? That's also a possibility.
That may be why the faceoff has been moved outside the zone.
Now it's played out at center ice, too far for Fedorko, who goes after it. Beaupre quickly flips it over to the boards. Fedorko in the corner has it. He's checked by Gronstrand. Now Hunter centers it, and it skips right through as Lemieux tried to tip it in. Bothwell's pass is broken up. And now Willie Plett is knocked down by Hunter to the delight of the fans. Some of them even come to their feet. Blues shoot it back in. Isn't it nice to be loved? Gronstrand played it ahead to De Palma. He left it for Maruk. Fanned on his pass creates an offside, which is now waved off. And Musil has to wait for the zone to clear. Plett was trapped inside. Now Musil was checked by Hunter as the offside whistle goes. And they're going to call it an intentional offside, I think.
Flockhart, Mahar, and Gilmore have scored for the Blues. De Palma twice and Graham once for the North Stars. We're tied at 3 as the faceoff comes back to the left of this man who hasn't played in 3 weeks. Donnie Beaupre.
His last appearance was at the Met Center on the 1st of November. Gave up 4 goals in the first period to Chicago. And now he is back in. He has faced 13 shots by the Blues. 3 have gone in. Brook will face off against Wickenheiser. Wickenheiser in a bit of a drought. No points in his last 5 games. Here's a save by Beaupre off Charlie Bourgeois' big shot. All right, we'll take a break. North Stars hockey comes to you from St. Louis on KI. Face off to the left of Beaupre, Wickenheiser, and Maruk getting ready for this draw. And now they're not lined up properly. .11:47 left in the second period. Well, I'm ready.
Yeah, I think Cavallini is too. He sure got the jump start there. Now we're having Wickenheiser chased out and Ragland to take the draw.
Here's a pass right through the goal crease as they work that nicely from the faceoff. Wickenheiser, who rolled it in front, battles for it in the corner. Now Herb Ragland and Maruk are tied up again. No whistle yet. Now Roberts knocked down. Bjugstad battles for it. Not pretty, folks, but it's hockey. Ragland and Bjugstad in the corner. Around to Maruk. Cleared, and he gets it out of the zone. Benning, first man of the puck. Benning, of course, a rookie for the Blues. Now Roberts has to hustle after it. Ragland going after him. Ragland also a St. Louis rookie. It's tipped ahead. Now Brook played it to Wilson. Ron Wilson to Nielsen. Back to Wilson at the side. North Star defenseman centers it, and Wickenheiser picks it off. Then he's bumped by Bjugstad, and it's cleared out by Ragland. Might be icing here. It should be, at least, as Musil races for it. And they'll bring it back for a face-off. You got a trivia question again tonight, Wally?
You
Another
bet.
toughie?
We got a trivia question for you. Let's see how many people can get this. What Minnesota North Star player in tonight's game was drafted by the St. Louis Blues? And if you have the answer to that, send your name, address, and phone number along with the answer to KITN-TV, 7325 Aspen Lane North in Minneapolis, 55428.
I like the way you said that. Of course, send the answer.
Yes.
Have to send the answer.
You want to do that.
And the ultimate winner in our year-long contest will win an expense-paid vacation for 2, I believe.
Can we enter?
We can try. Pad saved by Beaupre on a long shot by Bothwell. Might get the ire of the boss, Wally. We might not appreciate that very much. Now Fedorko in the corner. Halfway through tonight's hockey game, 3-3 the score. Bothwell tied up by Nielsen. Bumped hard by Cicerelli, a good body check. And it's played ahead to Fedorko at center ice. Bernie Fedorko has 293 career goals. Bothwell flipping it in. And it's called offside.
Frankie Musil learning the rigors of an NHL schedule. It's not easy for him. He's used to playing maybe 40, 50 games a year in Czechoslovakia. And I think that's going to be the biggest adjustment for him, at least on the on-ice conditioning part. And we'll really see the telltale signs in February, March. But I like what I see in this guy. Good, raw talent. He's going to be a good one.
You know, perhaps a lot of people expected more than they should have from him. He is an outstanding player. But he is 21 years of age, and there are many aspects of the game virtually every 21-year-old has to learn yet. Not to mention learning an entirely different game, that being the North American style. Gilmore and Graham battle for the puck. Pavis shooting it around off the glass, and it took a crazy hop off the glass past Roberts. Wilson challenged on the play by Jocelyn Lemieux. Pavis. Now Habscheid throwing it in. Cleared to the line, but not out, and Roberts will drop it right back to Ron Wilson. Fans here getting a little impatient. You'd think they'd be used to this kind of play. Now here's Hunter clearing it, but not. It's Bourgeois who centers it. It got through Gilmore. Flockhart flipped it back behind the goal line where it's cleared by Wilson, and then to the line by Lawton, but not out. Benning lets it go.
Obviously, it hit him on the way. So Hunter gets the goal at 11:25, Benning the assist.
It almost looked like there was interference there on Hunter's part, but clearly not as you look at the replay. And the Blues have a 4-3 lead. Now here is Hartsburg playing it ahead to Cicerelli. Dino has been hot of late. He roughs it up with Benning. There's going to be a penalty coming up here. And now a collision in the corner as Bourgeois is pounding the lights out of somebody.
It's Dirk Graham. Bourgeois landed on top, held Dirk there, and started throwing the right. That brings everybody into the corner. And we've had a lot of altercations tonight, and I'm sure we haven't seen the end of it. Bourgeois looks like he's trying to get a souvenir jersey off of Graham.
Well, he took the Palmas off earlier. Now I guess he figured he'd get another one. Charlie Bourgeois. Whoa, it was Larry De Palma.
De Palma. Interesting story as we watch Charlie Bourgeois go into the penalty.
Some nights, not many things make sense, but we'll try to figure them out for you here. These are called at what, 11:54? Does that sound pretty good to you?
Sounds fine by me. North Stars have a power play, their third of the game. They trail 4-3.
Here's Nielsen. Out of the St. Louis line. Wilson will go after that wobbling puck, and Pavis clears it out. And Beaupre throws it ahead for Nielsen, and Nielsen drops it back to Beaupre. A little forechecking on the play by St. Louis's Pat Hughes, former Edmonton Oiler. He has made several stops. Nielsen, a nice feed to Hartsburg. Shot went wide. Looked like there was an open cage there, but it was deflected wide. Now to Gilmore at center ice. Knocked down. Play goes on, and Wilson throws it ahead for Bukestad. Has to go back for it, and Wilson has it again. Pass nearly picked off by Hughes. Here's Nielsen throwing it across. Cicerelli back to Wilson. 50 seconds on the power play. Wilson shoots it in. Mahar out of the corner cleared it and clears it out. Our Stars making a change. Hapshide, Lawton, Graham up front. Wilson, Hartsburg back on the points. 35 seconds on the power play. Pass comes rolling in towards the net. Bothwell clears it right back out, and Mahar is onside. Shot in the goal as he was slashed by Hartsburg, and the Blues have scored shorthanded to take a 5-3 lead.
He went crashing into the boards following the goal. But he gives the Blues a 5-3 lead. Mahar read the play well. Circled at center ice. Saw the North Stars trying to dump it in. And seeing his team collect the puck, fired it back up the middle. And Mahar was open and went in home free.
Mahar gets his second goal of the game.
Watches Bothwell here, fires it off the boards up ice. Mahar taking that pass beautifully, keeping his skates in touch of the red line so that he wouldn't be offside, and beating Beaupre just below the glove. Mahar's third of the year from Bothwell. At 13:29, a shorthanded goal.
Take to call it.
Well, the back linesman made the call for an offside, which simply means that the play originates inside the zone. Here's Hartsburg coming across with a slash in the last-ditch effort to try and knock Mahar off balance, but the shot was already en route, and Mahar gets a bruise.
5-3 the lead. Still 20 seconds left on the penalty to Benning. Now Habscheid centers it. Walmsley blocked it. The rebound to Graham, and it's cleared by Cavallini out of the zone. 3 seconds left in the power play, and 6 minutes left in the second period. Here's Habscheid, and it was broken up by Hunter. So Benning is back on. 5 skaters aside as Musil drives it in. Now Pavis playing it back into the corner. Tipped it to Hunter, who was bumped. And Gronstrand back to Musil. Waits for the zone to clear. Carries it in. Broken up by Pavis. He flips it out. Gronstrand goes after. There should be icing here against the Blues. And there is. Well, fans, gives us a chance to remind you that Friday, November 28th is the second annual Suitcase Party. And it'll be held at the Met Center. Bring a packed suitcase. Put enough clothes in for a couple of days. Bring it to the game. You could win overnight accommodations and breakfast in the Twin Cities, plus round-trip airfare, hotel accommodation, and tickets to see the North Stars the very next night in Toronto at Maple Leaf Gardens. The Suitcase Party is November 28th, and contestants must be 18 years of age or older.
We had a lot of fun with that last year, too. There was a surprising number of people came out with packed bags for that. Come on out, folks. It's a good time. Toronto's a lovely city to go to. One of my favorites.
So you bring the bag to the game and tell your family, well, maybe goodbye. I'll see you Sunday. Here's a shot by Cavallini, and it's blocked by Beaupre. Bothwell! That shot sails wide. Blues pouring the pressure on now. Even though the shots are relatively close, at 6-5 for this period. Brooks shoots it in. Now Willie Plett. He'll join Wally in our studio and at the intermission. And Bothwell has it. Or rather, Fedorko, I beg your pardon. Pasovad checked at center ice by Plett, who's lost his glove but got it back. Now has the puck and slides it into the St. Louis end. Whacked at by Bothwell. Pasovad gets it out to Fedorko at center ice. Fedorko delivers the pass. Raglan fakes, centers it for Cavallini. Looked like Raglan had a pretty good shot there, and I thought he should have taken it. In the slot, they drop it to the point. Natras sets it up, lets it go. It deflects wide. Now Benning rifles it right through. Natras waiting. Blues really have the pressure on now. Fedorko, they score here. It could be devastating, and Beaupre covers up. Blues already lead in this one, 5-3. North Stars Hockey on KITN-TV, Channel 2.
Known as a two-line pass. Play comes back in the zone, but the puck has to cross the center ice red line before the players' skates do. The front linesman was right there on the line. He waved it off, saying that the play was good. The puck crossed the line ahead of Mahar's skates.
How did you see it?
Close.
Boy, you really go out on the limb, don't you? I thought it was good. I thought it was onside. Flockhart behind the net. Poked at by Roberts to get it to Cicerelli. Guns it in front for Bukestad. It comes right through, and Flockhart tips it back out. Here's Roberts. Pass deflects at center ice. Natras shooting it ahead for Wickenheiser. Flockhart has it again, and he'll backhand it in the zone. Now Roberts goes after it. Roberts being watched on the play in front of the net by Hughes. Now Nilsson dropping it back. Bukestad has it, throwing it into the corner. Flockhart, first man to it, and clears it out. Flockhart has done some traveling before coming here. He's played for Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, Montreal, and now the Blues, all since November of 1983. He has done some moving.
Flockhart right there. Another one of the high-scoring players coming out of the junior ranks. Played his junior hockey at Regina. Likes all summer sports. Just got married this past summer, too.
From the face-off, Bothwell cleared it to the line, but not out. Got past Wilson. Cicerelli and Lemieux, but Lemieux wins the race. Then he took a solid check from Gronstrand, and a stick above the shoulder is the call. Or is there a penalty?
Looks like Lemieux is being signaled for high sticking by referee Dave Newell.
Bothwell, as you can see, doesn't believe it. Lemieux doesn't believe it. And it'll give the North Stars a power play.
Let's see. This is 16. Jocelyn Lemieux coming up across the line. And he came back after the check, catching Gronstrand across the helmet with his stick, and that's why he's in the penalty box.
Well, that's in the books, folks. That's the new interpretation. Contact with the stick to the helmet is an automatic penalty. And sometimes it's called and sometimes it's not.
Dino Ciccarelli has become the fastest 20-goal scorer in modern-day hockey. And the modern-day era starts in the 26-27 season. Nobody has done it quicker than Dino, who did it in 15 games.
Now here's Wilson behind the net, and the North Stars, I would say, badly need a power play goal here to get themselves righted and back on track. They trail by 2.
You know, you think of the company that Dino has been in with reaching that milestone mark. That's faster than Wayne Gretzky, Bobby Hull, Rocket Richard. Some heavyweights. Mike Bossy, who seems to get 50 every year. Dino Ciccarelli having just a superb, outstanding hockey season. He didn't score his first goal until his 18th game last year. This is his 18th game tonight, and he has 20.
A minute and a half to go on the North Star power play. St. Louis leading 5-3. Here's Hartsburg. Habscheid at center. Drops it back for Lawton. Hartsburg brings it in. Hartsey has seen a lot of ice time tonight, and his pass is broken up by Reeds. Hartsburg with 8 points in his last 8 games goes back for it. I think he's having an outstanding year.
He is.
Now Ron Wilson fires it to Ciccarelli. Nice pass. Shooting pad saved by Wamsley, and Pavis shoots the rebound. Around on the boards, and then out of the zone it's cleared. A minute to go in the power play. Beaupre playing it over to Hartsburg. And Hartsburg will set up. Pat Hughes doing some penalty killing to force the play. Brought in primarily to the St. Louis organization to kill penalties. He will rarely see any other ice time. Now Beaupre will leave it aside for Hartsburg with a half minute on the power play. At center, here's Marouk. Drops it to Graham. To the corner for Marouk, and now to Wilson again. Keeps the puck in. Marouk knocks it down, and it's fired out by Gilmore. Here is Musil getting it to center ice. Marouk has it. He's bothered on the play by Reeds. Now Franta Musil over to Gronstrand. 5 seconds on the power play. Brook has Marouk breaking, gets Gronstrand the puck. Gronstrand shoots. A big save by Wamsley. The rebound batted out by Benning. Brook shooting, and that one is deflected and sails up into the second tier of seats as the penalty is over, and we'll have a face-off. So look at the newest North Star, Bob Brook, wearing a familiar number 13. He wore that number with the Rangers. Coming off a fine year last year at 44 points. Wamsley has faced 7 North Star shots in this period, and this was one of the better saves. Got that left glove out there and blocked it. Brook cruising in for the rebound, but then it was deflected out. A minute 18 left in the period. Wally Shaver will be in our studio with the very popular Willie Plett. He is loved on the home ice and hated in enemy territory. I think he draws the most ire here in St. Louis and in Chicago. And we'll also have that feature to bring you the update on how the injured North Stars are progressing, including Steve Payne, who was to have dressed for tonight's game. Hasn't taken a shift, but Payner's legs stiffened up a little bit after seeing his first action since February of last year. So he played last night, but is just on the bench tonight. Minute to go in the period. Loose puck to Cavallini. Throwing it in. And Beaupre leaves it for Gronstrand. Federico tied up still in the North Stars crease, and the North Stars shoot it down. Icing coming up here, and they'll go back for a face-off. Now 41 seconds left as you look at Bothwell, another of the Blues' outstanding penalty killers. He was picked up, I believe, after the season started in a trade for Dave Barr. Barr going to Hartford, and Bothwell coming to the Blues. He played here for St. Louis between 82 and 85, I believe. Was just traded last season. So there's been somewhat of a regular shuttle between St. Louis and Hartford, where Emile Francis is the general manager. He, of course, was a longtime general manager of the Blues. There's a look at Willie taking the last shift of the period, so he'll be well-winded by the time he gets down to talk to Wally. Wickenheiser will face off against Maruk. Now play behind the net. This is Roberts dropping it back to Wilson. And they throw it in with a half-minute left in the period. Reed shooting it behind the net. Cicerelli goes after it. Reed's dropping it to the side of the net. Now Natras clears it off of Wickenheiser, still in the zone. 15 seconds in the period, and then a puck hops back out at center ice. Wickenheiser tied up by Plett. Wilson. Wickenheiser goes down. Fans again want a penalty. Cicerelli has the puck. 4 seconds left, and he flips it into the corner. And this one will come to an end with the St. Louis Blues grabbing a lead here now, 5-3. We'll keep an eye on everybody to make sure they get off the ice. All right. The Blues scoring all 3 goals in the period by Gilmore, Benning, and then Mahar, shorthanded, and that is the margin 5-3 after 40 minutes of play. Again, Willie Plett will be joining Wally Shaver in our studio, and we'll have that feature on the injured players, plus a look at highlights from the second period. That coming up momentarily. At the end of 2, it's St. Louis 5 and the Minnesota.
Working along the boards as well. There's Gilmore, number 9, getting the puck, shooting it off the side of the net and getting his own rebound, fired it home on a backhand shot. And 2 more goals, one by Hunter, one by Mahar, have given the Blues a lead, and we're back for the third period.
Okay, Wally, 5 skaters aside as we begin this period. Here is Houck shooting the puck in, and Natras has trouble with it. It's loose at the side to Houck. He spun around and goes down. Dale Hunter, or rather Mark Hunter, hustles it out at center ice. Drops it in the slot for Gilmore. A pad save by Beaupre on that bullet. Paul Houck. Too far for Brook. And Lemieux drops it back into the St. Louis end. Posavat playing it to center ice. Got it right back. Throws it in the air to gain the zone. And Wilson picks it up. Third period just underway. The Blues lead 5-2. Musil. Now to Cicerelli throwing it in. And it apparently hit the linesman's skate. Comes back to Pozlowski to Flockhart, who flips it into the corner. Musil goes after it to clear it away. Now Dennis Maruk. Out to Cicerelli. Long shot blocked by Wamsley. Rebound to Maruk. Lets it rip, and that's blocked by Wamsley as well. Federico clears it all the way down. And there's going to be a potential icing here. And they say Musil got there first, and an injured St. Louis player.
Flockhart. He was tied up by Musil. Musil really had his arms tied up. And when they went down, Flockhart had nothing to break his fall with. Another new line combination out there for the North Stars with Maruk centering Cicerelli and Plett, as you see the race here, and Flockhart not having much of a chance on that collision with Musil. Big Frankie. And Flockhart, okay, he's going off the ice under his own steam. We'll see more of him later on.
We'll throw a couple of Norris Division scores your way. The Blackhawks are trailing Los Angeles 2-1. Jack O'Callahan has a lone Chicago goal. And Toronto has scored early in the third period. Philadelphia leads Toronto 2-1 in that game. And Detroit and New Jersey are tied at 3-3. And Pat Verbeek has scored his 13th goal of the year.
He's coming into town here Saturday night, too. I'm impressed with that team. Verbeek, Broughton, Muller.
Aaron Broughton's racking up a lot of points, too.
Yes, he is.
Now here is Wickenheiser getting it out at center ice. He is then tied up by Hartsburg, but got the puck to Cavallini. Plett has it back at his own line. And now Pavis has it once more. Over to Bothwell. Hughes at center ice, throwing it across for Cavallini. Tried to shoot, but he was checked by Hartsburg. Now Musil goes back behind the net. Musil plays it to Cicerelli. Now to Hartsburg. Out to Maruk at center. He's checked, and it's cleared out by Hughes, and it creates an offside. You're watching the National Hockey League on the North Star Television Network. Play underway in the St. Louis end as it's cleared out by Gronstrand, or rather out of the North Star end to Lawton, and he was upended. And here's Ron Wilson to Gronstrand. looking for a lead pass. It goes into the corner. Graham racing after it. Walmsley cleared it, but gave it to Graham, who centers it. That's broken up by Benning and flipped out at center ice. Reeds dropped it back. Oh, a nice glove catch on that hot shot by Mahar. Lawton backhands it out of the zone, and Pavis turns to go after it with Graham in pursuit. Pavis is there to clear it around. It got away from Natras. Ragland played it out, and it was brought back in by Scott Bugstead.
Scotty will be looking forward to home ice, as will the rest of the club. 3 games coming up. Saturday, New Jersey. You know, New Jersey's unbeaten in their last 4 games. Both Broughton and Muller amongst the top 20 scorers. Night before Thanksgiving, the Blackhawks with nasty Al Secor, Dennis Savard, Doug Wilson. They'll conclude that with a Toronto Maple Leaf visit on Friday the 28th. Yeah, and the thing that amazes me most, the Leafs are number 2 defensively in the NHL.
It's a mirage.
Must be.
And how far behind is Detroit? That's they're not. Earlier in the year they weren't very far behind.
The Norris division, always known for weak teams, get this, folks, have the number 2, number 4, and number 6 defensive teams in hockey.
Here's Pavis. Now Cicerelli checked that center ice with one hand, swats the puck ahead, but the Blues intercept and shoot it back in. Gilmore down, and Lemieux battles for it. Here's Hunter walking right in, rebound, a goal. Gilmore, and it's 6-3. Gilmore, second of the game.
Frankie Musil threw one check at the end of the rink on Gilmore. But as Lemieux goes behind the net, Gilmore gets back up, goes in front, and Musil doesn't have him tied up well enough. And you can't do that and expect to go scot-free. Hunter taking the pass from Lemieux, putting it out in front off of Beaupre, and you see Gilmore slide the stick in there. He broke right for the net.
Well, while we were away, Brian Lawton just rifled a shot past Walmsley to get the North Stars back in this one. Now down by 2 goals again. Big goal for Brian Lawton. He's been picking up some points lately, too.
Goes off of Brooks' skate, you see right there. Lotzie has a lot of net. And just fires it between the defenseman, Pasavad, and Walmsley's legs to put the North Stars back into the game. For Brian Lawton, that is his 2nd goal of the season.
4:01 the time of the goal, and we'll get you the assist on both of those as soon as we can. Gronstrand back behind the net. Boy, that was a huge goal, because you're basically 5 minutes into the period now, but at least back to where you started from instead of being down by 3. Now Walmsley leaves it. Bothwell has it. Throws a pass too far for Cavallini. And they're going to wave off the icing, or will they? No, they're going to call it here as Gronstrand gets to the puck. Very deliberate call.
On the 2 goals, Gilmore, his 8th of the year, 2nd of the night. Mark Hunter and Jocelyn Lemieux assisting at 3:48. And just 13 seconds later, Brian Lawton scores his 2nd of the year. Bob Brook picks up his 2nd assist of the night. And Paul Hoke assisting at 4:01. So I guess we go back to Willie's comment where you had to get the first goal of the period. But this pretty well evens things out. The next goal now has to be the North Stars goal.
Here's Benning behind the net, chased by De Palma. Bourgeois flipping it to the line. Ragland picks it up. Nice pass to Reeds. Shot in the pad, saved by Beaupre. Benning whacks at the bouncing puck. It's scooped up by Hartsburg. Finds Willie Plett. He's got Marouk alone in front. Shot deflected wide as De Palma really let it go. Marouk was alone in front, but the passing lane had been blocked off. Now Musil again collides. The St. Louis player got to the puck first, so there's no icing call there. Reeds behind the net. Ragland tries to work it in front. He's hauled down, but the goal has come loose, so play is called. Oop, push leading to shove here again.
Butt getting in there. Watch out for De Palma. He and Mahar were doing some pushing earlier. Ragland dropping a glove now. He wants to get at De Palma. Ragland, no small guy himself, standing.
Here's Willie Flett and Bourgeois. And Bourgeois gets Willie down.
They had a tussle last night in front of the Minnesota goal that resulted in nothing more than a wrestling match. We have another scrap going on. Mark Reeds and is that Hartsburg? No, Marook and Gilmore are dancing. That's Reeds and Hartsburg right there. Flett and Bourgeois back up and still swinging. That linesman better get out of there.
Is he going to let him go? He's got a hold of Willie's jersey. And the fans are giving this one to Bourgeois.
Willie Flett may be cut. I see a little blood on the left shoulder. We knew this was going to happen tonight.
Well, it may have happened even a little quicker. The score's still been 6-3, but there's still lots of time left here. 14:50 left in the third period. And I think tempers are finally settling down.
You know, this goes back to last year's playoffs. There's some bad blood between these two teams. Folks, you got to get out and see some of these Minnesota-St. Louis games because this rivalry is shaping up to be every bit as good as the Chicago-Minnesota rivalry.
It's that grinding style that St. Louis likes to play, and it just puts tensions at a razor's edge. While they sort out the penalties, we will take a break. We're early in period number 3. Got a feeling he's trying to make a point. And that is that the North Stars need to keep him around. You recall, I think in the Chicago game, he quickly came to the aid of Keith Acton, if I'm not mistaken, although Acton may have been the aggressor in that, but De Palma nonetheless came to his aid. That was in one of his earlier call-ups. 5 skaters aside on the ice. Here is Nielsen checked at the line. And finally, it's scooped out at center ice. Now Gordy Roberts has it. Flipped into the zone. Natras goes after it. Nielsen right in after him. Back to the point for Gronstrand, shooting it around. And wrapped out of there by Gilmore. 14 minutes left in the third period. Roberts had trouble because one of the St. Louis players, Lemieux, was draped all over him. Pass behind Cicerelli. There's going to be icing here as it's chased down by Posevad.
Minnesota has to pick up the pace a little bit here. They're being beaten to the puck right now.
The 1986-87 North Star Yearbook is now available. This is the 20th anniversary collector's edition, and it features players and highlights from the North Star's first 20 years in the league. It indeed is a beautiful book, and it's available at the Met Center. From the draw, Wilson throwing it in. Poked loose by Bothwell. And it's cleared by Posevad to Kozlowski. Onside to Flockhart. And he lost control of it. It rolled wide. Cleared to the line, but not out. Still in the zone, and Wilson gets it over to Musil. That pass hit Habscheid. Flockhart brings it back. Drops it now to Fedorko. Flockhart tips it behind the net. Kozlowski tracks it down. Fedorko has it. And a stick above the shoulder. The call by referee Dave Newell.
13-17 now left to go in the third period. Stars down by 2. They have been outshot as well, 22-18. And this, I don't know if it would count as a shot or not, but there's a breakaway pass from Kozlowski to Flockhart. Flocky hockey going in. 1 D too many. Just glancing off the right leg pad of Beaupre wide of the net. Bob Brook handling the faceoff with Bukestad and Houck on the wings.
St. Louis ahead 6-4 with 13 minutes left as Houck was upended by Cavallini. Walmsley playing it around. Gronstrand at the point. Long shot deflected, and a pad save by Walmsley. Nice deflection by Brook in front. Now Gronstrand upended, and there'll be a St. Louis penalty here. And the North Stars with a power play chance to pull within one. And this will be a big power play coming up in a moment. North Stars hockey comes to you from St. Louis on KITN TV.
17, Gino Cavallini spills him. Cavallini off for tripping at 7:06. The North Stars on their 5th power play. They have been skunked so far tonight on the power play. They need a goal here right now.
Here's Wilson to Kent Nielsen. Wilson again. Hartsburg shooting, pad save by Walmsley. Now Nielsen goes after it. Jammed up against the boards. Cicerelli in the corner. Marouk, Cicerelli, Nielsen up front. Hartsburg and Wilson on the points. Wilson shoots. It's deflected. Walmsley scrambles to make a save.
St. Louis getting a little sloppy in front of their own net there. Almost feeding it right over to the North Stars instead of letting Walmsley hang on to it.
And this marks a milestone night for Kent Nielsen, playing in his 500th career game. And in those 500 games, he has 631 points. That puts him in 11th place in all-time points per game.
Not bad. Kent going at nearly a point a game pace for the North Stars, entering tonight's game having played in 10, and he had 9 points.
Here's Wilson to Cicerelli. Hartsburg. Now to Cicerelli again. 1:20 on a power play. Lots of time, but they need a goal here. Cicerelli shooting, deflected, back to Dino, and it hopped away. Reaching for it, and it's poked out by Reeds. Hartsburg goes back for it. Now to Nielsen. Ran into Gilmore. Hartsburg has the puck at the St. Louis line. Now to Marouk. Nielsen. Hartsburg. Wilson. And Hartsburg again. Centered, backhand, skips right through. Nice shot by Marouk, but a little bit wide. Wilson trying to keep it in, can't. Gilmore breaking for it. Wilson's got decent speed and gets to the puck first. Finds Marouk. Marouk will flip it in. This power play unit has been on for the entire 90 seconds thus far. Wilson had trouble. Gilmore has it. He's got a man breaking. Finds Hughes. Slap shot blocked by Beaupre. Now Musil with 20 seconds on the power play. Franta Musil backhanding it in. Mahar checked by Graham, or at least by Habscheid, and it's cleared all the way down by Pat Hughes again as the penalty to Cavallini expires. And the power play opportunity for the North Stars goes by the boards. Now it's kicked in by Graham and cleared by Natras back to center ice. Hunter is roughed up. Play goes on to Gronstrand, and it's jammed in the zone by Nielsen. Now Fedorko tries to get it out, or rather Posevad tried to get it out, but it failed to connect, and the puck is then cleared out of play. With 10.5 minutes left in the third period, the score is St. Louis 6 and the North Stars 4.
4 for St. Louis. This was a close one, but watch Beaupre as he's way out challenging the shooter and has to take that high shot in the shoulder, but he makes a good save on Pat Hughes, a penalty killing specialist from Buffalo via the waiver draft.
Gronstrand fans on it. The Blues break out. Fedorko leading the charge. Got it to Cavallini. Then he was bumped by Gronstrand. Both players go down. Roberts with the puck. Halfway through the third period, North Stars trail by 2. Gronstrand met by Benning. Now Cavallini laying it ahead to Fedorko with a move to get around Brook. Then his pass is intercepted by Roberts. It bounces to Brook, who gets it in. Now Houck has it, left it for Brook. He sweeps it behind the net. And Fedorko checked by Bjugstad. Houck tried to center it. He's knocked down, sweeps it in front, but it was batted away by Hunter. And Cavallini decides to skate it to center. then flips it in as the Blues change. Blues don't have to do much. They can just dump the puck if they like. They're ahead by 2.
And they're very strong defensively coming into this game tonight. Their goals against the average ranked 4th overall in the NHL. So the North Stars, even with 9 minutes left, they've got to start taking some offensive gambles now because the Blues can shut the door in a hurry.
Here's Musil being chopped from behind by Hughes. Got it as far as the line, but not in. Nielsen throwing it across, and Pavis got a piece of it. Now Mahar and Nielsen, and it's cleared by Mahar to Reeds. His pass for Hughes was deflected behind the St. Louis player. Brought in by Mahar. Shot blocked by Beaupre. Shots are even for the game at 23 aside. Marouk. Shooting, stick save by Wamsley, and that sails right up out of play. You can watch Gopher hockey and basketball this season exclusively on Minnesota's #1 sports station, Channel 29. The first televised Gopher basketball game will be coming up on December 1st against Houston. And our good friend Dick Bramer will be doing a play-by-play for you on that one.
I'd like to pass on a hello to Mary Pepin Backenberg. I hope I pronounced that right, Mary. And all the guys that your husband Greg skates with on Sundays and Wednesdays out at Minnetonka. He's
Greg's
here tonight.
Greg's here.
Greg's here.
A few other North Star fans are here with a banner across the way. I don't know. They're down here on business, though.
With a banner?
Sure. It's a sign-making business. I don't know. Here's a loose puck to Hartsburg at center ice, and he shoots from center. It goes to the corner. Benning trying to clear. Bronstrand ties up with Gilmore. Cicerelli got it back to the point. Long shot by Marouk takes off and lands in the corner. Bourgeois got it to Hunter, who has 2 brothers playing in the National Hockey League. Now Hartsburg brings it in, goes for the puck, and the Blues get it. Racing ahead is Jocelyn Lemieux, and he fires it wide. And it rebounds to Natras at center ice. Waits for the zone to clear, and then fires it into the corner. Now Dirk Graham for the North Stars. Dirk with one of the North Star goals tonight. Had 2 last night. Play a bit too far ahead. Now Flockhart has it. And he lobs it to center. Kozlowski goes after it. He's checked by Musil. Penalty coming up here on Musil. No doubt about that one. Live from the arena, it's North Stars hockey on KI.
Franta Musil picks up a minor for tripping at 12:40. And it was about the only way that he was going to be able to stop Kozlowski breaking up the middle. It's just to chop him down. Timber.
He likes to use that stick, doesn't he? Carries it quite high.
Now that was about the last resort he had to do. And it'll leave the North Stars shorthanded for the 5th time tonight. Not a situation they have been very comfortable with tonight because the Blues have scored 3 power play goals in 4 prior chances.
Penalty killers are Graham and Brook with Bronstrand and Roberts. Back behind the net, that's pushed in front by Fedorko. Kozlowski swings and misses. And they will hold it there long enough to get a face-off.
Bernie Fedorko. In his 11th season, all with the St. Louis Blues, which is something different than a lot of the other players in this club, but he played in all 80 games for the first time in his career and was the only to do so last year. Doug Gilmore with 21 points in playoff scoring last year. That was tops in the NHL playoff scoring derby.
Fedorko has been an outstanding one, but he certainly doesn't draw the attention that a Savard does or a Gretzky. Yes, he's just doesn't have that flash about him, but I'll take his points.
It's the points every year. He gets 100 points.
Benning to Natras, walking in, way wide with the shot. And Graham has it. 90 seconds to go on the penalty to Musil as Brook goes in after the puck. He's shorthanded and takes it away from Wamsley.
Oh.
It's loose to Graham. Shot and a goal. And a huge assist on that one.
Definitely. He earned it. And Dirk Graham has had a knack for scoring against the Blues. He got 2 last night and comes up with a pair here again tonight so far. Bob Brook will chip in with his 3rd assist on the evening. A very timely shorthanded goal for the North Stars, their 2nd of the game. Number 13, the lucky number 13, Bob Brook, hustling in after it, applying the forechecking pressure, stealing it away from Walmsley. And as it comes off 2 Blues players, Graham has a lot of net to find and makes it a 6-5 hockey game.
Now here's Gronstrand at his own line, whipping it ahead for Houck. That fails to click. 1 goal. Boy, we had, what, a couple of shorthanded goals tonight. Both of Dirk's are shorthanded, I think you pointed out. The Blues have 1 shorthanded and 3 power play. Here's a quick centering pass to Gilmore. What a setup from Fedorko, but Gilmore couldn't tee it up. Now Bukestad shorthanded with Houck at center. Scotty's long shot is blocked by Walmsley. He plays it aside to Bourgeois. 40 seconds left in the penalty to Musil. Fedorko leaves it at the line for Flockhart. Then threw it across. No one was home. Houck hustles for it and clears it down. Now Flockhart from behind the net. Graham is out in front. Wickenheiser tips it to center. 20 seconds. The North Stars still a man short. And Hartsburg will shoot it all the way down. Kozlowski plays it to Wickenheiser at center. Flockhart tipped away from him, and Benning goes back for it. Waits for the zone to clear, but didn't wait long enough just as the penalty to Musil expires. So the penalty killers not only do their job, but they also get a shorthanded goal.
And for Dirk Graham, that's his 3rd shorthanded goal of the season, which ties him with Brent Sutter for the most shorthanded goals in the NHL in this young part of the season as we really get to the quarter-way point of the year.
Yeah. Dirk also has another interesting statistic, in that he has 3 first goals of the game. There's a bunch of North Star fans. And I think they're also Channel 29 fans, but their eyes on something else right now.
They made that banner and they had it in their hands. Jeez.
Boy, and nobody will get to see it now. Maybe we'll give them another chance. Now out at center ice, Cicerelli playing it to the line. And as he does so, it's offside.
Speaking of banners, how do you like that shootout in the Met? Little Donaldson's board there. You fire a few shots at it.
That's one of the best promotions between periods. The old shootout.
It gets the crowd going. You can register for that, too, at Donaldson's department stores around town. Try your luck. Maybe a scout will be out there.
Oh, that's all legitimate, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Well, you see, the one in Chicago is run a little differently.
Trip to Quebec for the winter.
See, when we're in Chicago, you're down in the studio, so you missed the shootout. But they have an usher who hand-picks the contestants out of the crowd. And the last one is always probably the most beautiful woman in the building. And 16,000 men go crazy. Fair and square contest. Offside at the line. All right, with the score, the Blues 6 and the North Stars 5. We'll be right back. They finally got the banners up, and somebody ripped them out of their hands. That's Renee Johnson and Tom Ames and Brian Knopp from Hibbing. His folks are watching on cable. There it is, the kitten that roars.
There's our station ID, a little crumpled, but it's there.
Okay. 4.5 minutes left to go in this arduous hockey game. It's been dragging on forever, it seems, but it's just a 1-goal game, 6-5. Boy, there are going to be some tired people out there. Rebroadcast or reproduction of this telecast is illegal without the written consent of the NHL, the Minnesota North Stars, and KITN-TV, Minneapolis, St. Paul. Special thanks to our director in St. Louis tonight, Mike Harvath. Nice to be back working with you, Mike.
Our Stars will be home for 3 coming up this week and next week. New Jersey, Chicago, and Toronto. Should be 3 good hockey games. Always good when it's home around Thanksgiving.
You bet. Hunter shooting, blocked by Beaupre. It's loose in the slot to Gilmore, and he shoots it us to the outside of the net. Hunter rolls it right through. Lemieux plays it to the point. Nice interception by Graham, and poked that by Lawton, and then intercepted by Graham. Graham blocking it. He was really hammered against the boards by Pavis. Offsides the call. Graham comes in to protect Lawton. And we'll have a slight pause here.
We've already had 104 minutes and penalties handed out in tonight's hockey game. 5 different occasions where players have gone off together.
By the way, don't forget to stay tuned for our Coors North Star Player of the Game following tonight's contest. They are so tough to pick in games like this.
1-goal game. In fact, I think I had a stat here about 1-goal games. The Blues in 1-goal games are 5-1.
Whoa. So speaking of
0-1.
Speaking of stars of the game, when Jack Carlson gets back on the bench, is he still going to pick the 3 stars at the home games?
It's going to be tough duty for Jack. Hold 2 swing shifts there.
Now Mahar flipping to Bourgeois. Cicerelli whips it in front, and Cavallini intercepts and clears. Mahar and Musil race for it. Nice play by Musil to break it up. Reeds flipping it back for Mahar, who's bumped by Musil. Jammed up against the boards by the big Czechoslovakian defenseman. Play is called.
You see Dennis Maruk coming in there, number 9. Where would this hockey game be right now if they would have allowed that goal in the second period when Dennis was tied up right in the goal crease and had the puck bounce off a skate into the net? And it was disallowed. Here's Musil.
Wally, you want to go the other way. What about the icing call that wasn't called and led to a North Star goal?
Oh, I don't want to go the other way, really. Right
Okay, forget about that one. All right.
All right.
Okay.
No, how about the near offside here at center ice, eh?
Eh? All right.
Okay, so it's 2-1 Minnesota, near misses. Does that count as a 1-goal game?
I'm not sure anymore. This is Gronstrand. Now tipped at center ice by Brook. He's been impressive. Bukestad has it. Lets it go. Fired it wide. Hoping against hope there that Scotty would get a point out of that. Now Bukestad has it again. The longer it goes for him, the tighter he seems to play. And we know once he loosens up, he's just going to be a good, fluid player out there and start knocking the goals in again. Finally batted out by Flockhart. 3 minutes left. The North Stars pressing to tie this game. It's a 6-5 contest. Hartsburg throwing it into the corner. Wamsley left it there at the side of the net, and Flockhart leads the charge. From center, he tips it into the zone. Then the Blues make a change. Gronstrand in front of his own net. Off the skate of Graham. Graham is tied up at center ice by Hughes, and Hughes apparently injured or hit about the head or face, and that was away from my eyes anyway. I'd taken my eyes off that play.
Now Mark Hunter has come over to straighten out Dirk Graham about roughing up. Hughes, and we are going to have some penalties. Graham a little perturbed that he's getting sent to the box. Lemieux going in as well for St. Louis. Not Lemieux or Hughes that collided along the board. I think it was Lemieux. Jocelyn Lemieux, a real disturber.
All right, we get ready for the face-off. 5 skaters aside. Shide up front along with Kent Nielsen, and Gilmore was tied up but still gets the puck in the zone. Now Bourgeois flipping it in. Roberts and Wilson are back on defense for Minnesota. Nielsen quickly turns to pick up the loose puck. Drops it to the point for Ron Wilson. And behind the net, it's grabbed and centered by Lawton. Now Roberts in deep. Ties up with Benning. Puck squirts loose to Bourgeois. And he'll ice it. Not sure he really wanted to do that, as the faceoff will come right back in the St. Louis end. Under 2 minutes left in a 1-goal hockey game.
That's where the North Stars want the puck, is down at this end of the ice. Faceoffs now become of utmost importance. Mark Hapscheid will not take the draw, because now Coach Lorne Henning is making a switch of lines as he sends out Nielsen, Marouk, and Ciccarelli. The advantage here is that he has Marouk and Nielsen, both whom can take faceoffs. Draws now very important for the North Stars. They have to win these and try and set something up. 1:53 to go. Don Beaupre about 20 feet out in front of his crease. He'll make a move soon.
Nice play by Marouk from the faceoff. Got the shot off even though he was well covered. Hartsburg's pass broken up and cleared by Wickenheiser, but not out. Now Marouk behind the net. Checked by Natras. Can Musil keep it in? Yes. Now to the corner. It's intercepted by Mahar. Plays it off the boards. Musil breaks it up. Roughs up Reeds. Play goes on. Pass too far for Wickenheiser. Might be icing here. Hartsburg racing. Gets there first.
North Stars putting on a nice finish here. Forechecking well. Taking the man very well. And winning the faceoffs, which they have to continue to do now with 1:24 to go.
After being outscored 3-0 in the second period, the North Stars outscoring St. Louis here in the third, 2-1.
Watch the right of your screen. Musil standing up Reeds well and letting him know it. And it's been a good physical display by the North Stars tonight.
Marouk and Bukestad Brook conversing. Ciccarelli also waiting for the face-off, as are Musil and Hartsburg. Draw to the board. Ciccarelli plays it behind the net. Marouk hustles for it. Hit by Pavis. Gets it right back. Walks in front. Shoots. Blocked by Wamsley. Backhand by Hartsburg. Deflects wide. Whacked at by Gilmore. It hops in the slot. Then it's poked out of the zone. Marouk racing for it with Federico. Knocks the puck loose to Hartsburg. 60 seconds to go in regulation time, and the Blues have a 6-5 lead. Brook is checked by Cavallini. Hartsburg keeps it in. Beaupre is off. Bukestad is on as the sixth skater. Bukestad to Musil. Paper plates are flying down from the stands now onto the ice. Here's Natras clearing it. Cavallini has it with an open net, then flips it all the way down the ice. I don't know if he realized he had an open net. And icing is the call.
Well, open net or not, it was just not a smart play to take an icing call. He knew he had to at least get across center ice. That one could turn out to haunt Gino Cavallini. Cavallini proceeding to the player bench. He has a brother Reed in the Washington system. So another brother.
I didn't know. You snuck one in on me. But he's not in the NHL, right?
No, he's in the system.
And we have a timeout called by one of the two teams.
North Stars with a 29-26 shots on goal advantage. And almost half of their shots, 14 of them, have come here in the third period.
It's good to see them have a strong third period. They have not played well in the third period. They have been outscored 29-15 in the third period and only have won in their last 4 games. Here's Ciccarelli. That shot hit the defense. Let's rebound. Oh, what a save by Wamsley. I don't think he saw the shot till it hit his glove.
Rick Wamsley in the right spot. And snaps off that shot from Willie Platt on the backhand. Take a look at this. Well set up by the North Stars. Dino had a good drive here. And it bounces right over to Platt. Instead of going to the traffic, he gets away from it and tries a backhander. Look at Marouk camped on the doorstep just in case it got through. North Stars doing everything there but putting it in. They still do have 23 seconds on their side.
They have the 6 skaters: Cicerelli, Flett, Brook, Marook, Hartsburg, and Wilson. Marook will face off against Gilmore. A lot of debris coming down from the stands now.
And they're throwing little pieces of stuff down there. That's dumb. Cement heads who do that, I tell you. I'm glad our fans don't do that back in Minnesota. Dangerous, dangerous, dangerous.
Draw to the Blues. Natras trying to clear. Hartsburg tries to keep it in, but it was jammed out of the zone. Now it's brought back in. Long shot. Wamsley stick save rebound cleared by Natras. 10 seconds left. Centered to Wilson, and it was poked away at the last second. Empty net for Reeds. 4 seconds left. He carries it down, shoots and scores with 1 second remaining. And the Blues will get away with a 7-5 win. Their second win of the year over the North Stars, and Mark Reeds gets the final goal of this game, 1959.
Last time the two teams played here, it was Minnesota winning 8-3. Last night it was 4-3 St. Louis. And the scoring gates open again here tonight. And here's how it happened, as Wilson just missed on trying to get a shot here. A good diving play by Doug Gilmore as he deflected the puck out to center ice. And Reeds, blowing down the right wing boards, had nothing but net to shoot at. Gilmore again continuing his dominance against the North Stars as he bags 2 goals and an assist. The game is over. A dejected group of North Stars leaving the ice, but they played a very well, hard-fought contest.
We'll be back with a recap after a timeout. Final score, St. Louis 7, the North Stars 5. We'll be back in a moment.